course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which connects us with one another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and nature's God tie all them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation.
Go.
That means sometimes one group of people decide to split off and become an independent country. As the laws of nature and God say that they can, but when this happens, if they want them to respect them, they should explain why they are splitting off.
Go.
We hold these rights to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
We think these things are obviously true, that all men are created equally, that all men have some rights given to them by God, that among these rights are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
6.
That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, drawing their just powers and the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government is destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it, instituting new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form, it shall seem to affect their safety and happiness.
Go.
So whenever any government is getting in the way of these rights,
Right.
people have the right to change it or get rid of it and to make a new government in whatever way seems most likely to make them safe and happy.
Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experiences have shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer than evils are more sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed.
Go.
People shouldn't change the government they have unless they have a good reason. So they will suffer as long as they have to under the government they have, rather than change it.
Go.
But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, convinces a design under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security.
Go.
But when there have been a lot of problems for a long time, it is their right and their duty to throw off that government and to set up a better government.
Go.
We here in America have suffered for a very long time, and now we should change our government.
Go.
The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over the states.
Go.
In every stage of these oppressions, we have petitioned for redress in the most humble terms. Repeated petitions have been answered only by repeated injury. A prince whose character is thus marked by every act which may define a tyrant is unfit to be the ruler of a free people.
Go.
The King of England has done many bad things to us. Here's a list.
Go.
He won't let us pass laws we need for everybody's good.
Go.
Even when we do pass laws, he won't sign them so they can go into effect.
Go.
He tried to force men to give up their right to make laws.
Start over.
He calls men together to make new laws in the most inconvenient times and places so that they won't be able to discuss the new laws.
He didn't let new settlers come to America, and he wouldn't let the settlers take over new land from the Native Americans.
He won't let us choose our own judges, and instead he chooses them all himself. So they're all on his side.
He sends lots of new government officials that we don't want, and he makes us pay for them.
He sends lots of English soldiers here when there isn't even war and makes us let them live in our own houses.
Down and do it again.
He tells us these soldiers can do whatever they want and do not have to obey the law.
He won't
let us buy and sell things from wherever we want. We can only buy things from England.
Go.
He makes us pay all kinds of taxes without asking us about it.
He won't let us have a jury for our trials and a judge.
He sends people accused of crimes far away to England for their trials.
Louder.
He tries to get people to revolt and tries to get the Indian savages to attack us.
When we ask him to stop, he just keeps on doing more bad things. We have tried to talk to the other people who live in England. We have asked them to stop these crimes against us, but they have just acted as though they were deaf. So we must separate from England, and they will be our enemies during the war, though we hope they'll be our friends when there is peace.
So we think that God will see that we are doing the right thing when we declare that the United States are now completely independent of the King of England. We have no more political connection to England at all.
Go.
We promise that we will fight for our independence with the help of God, with our property, our lives, and our sacred honor.
Among the 56 men who signed the Declaration of Independence were Benjamin Franklin, Samuel Adams, John Hancock, and the future presidents John Adams and Thomas Jefferson.
Only white men signed the Declaration of Independence. No women, black people, Jewish people, or Native Americans were invited to sign. All these groups were excluded.